So good evening, one and all, Toastmasters and guests for our 9th edition of Wasl Talks. Today we talk about the mental health at work. October 10 is the World Mental Health Day. It's good to check it out, our mental health. Reviewing like our checking the medical status, it's too good to have verified our mental health as well. So today's speaker with us is a senior professional with over 24 years of experience across the Middle East, US, UK, and India. She has a proven track record of creating strategic and engaging initiatives tailored to business and communication goals, aligned to employee wellness and the organization's mission. She is currently working as a senior corporate communications consultant and people and engagement specialist at Mentra Care. Let's have views on the importance of mental health at work. Let me introduce today's speaker for the day, mental health at work, SonaalVChhibber. Sonaal, now the virtual stage is for you. Let us take through our mental health status.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you, Salim and Wasl Talks, for giving me the opportunity to speak about a very vital topic, which is mental health at work. And as Salim has already introduced me to you all, so I do work with, Mantra Care, and I work as senior corporate communications consultant and people and engagement specialist. So Mantra Care is a platform, as you can see the tagline, which says, transforming workplaces and empowering lives. So my transition to the wellness field has been, it's been a long journey, because I started as a banker. I worked with Citibank, and then I went into education field with GEMS Education, and then I went into media field as editor-in-chief and journalist. But then the pandemic changed everything, because in pandemic there was a lot of stress at workplaces, and it really pained me to see the employees were forcing the employees to come every day, even though the situation was not right. So that made me think, if I cannot change certain things, then I have to learn and equip myself to be well, and to motivate others to be well and mentally fit at the workplace. And that's why I did a lot of wellness courses like NLP, which is neuro linguistic programming, to train my mind to stay positive in every situation, then Reiki and many other courses. And finally I thought, let me join an organization which not only equips the employees in the companies, but makes everybody think positive about themselves, about the situation, because pandemic was a grim situation for which we all were not prepared. So from there my journey started, and today I am working with Mantra Care, and I am with you all to share my views on this vital topic. So before I begin, and as you know, we will be discussing about building a stress-free workplace, because I know a lot of workplaces are toxic. So firstly, I want to know, what is mental health? So if you can type in the chat box, like, what comes to you when I say mental health? What conspires in you? Anything, you can just type in the chat box. Okay. Yeah. So you all are like more or less correct, because when we think of mental health, it speaks about stress, anxiety, depression, sadness, problem, and if it is prolonged, then it leads to illness. So what is workplace mental health? We always speak about mental health, but is mental health, like we were speaking before the call, we were generally speaking that mental health where we are talking about mental health, be it at home place or at the workplace. So I am focusing mental health because we all are professionals at the workplace, and I think workplace mental health refers to emotional, psychological and social well-being of employees. So maintaining a healthy workplace involves balancing, employee mental health with the demands of the job. So that is, I've spoken about it in brief. But what causes, the this stress in the workplace? It could be, insecurity. It could be, not treating everybody equally. There could be gender bias. There could be, it cannot be a situation which is perfect, so the inclusivity or the inclusion is not there, because certain people are challenged. So creating a workplace which suits everybody, because we have all types of professionals, and especially in Dubai we have expats from all over the world. They come with their different nationalities, sometimes different baggage, different skills. So the idea is to utilize their skills at the optimal level, rather than focusing on their weaknesses, or their gender, or the pay parity. So these all points create the mental imbalance in the office. And how the stress affects the workplace, like we can always say, okay, stress is there, everybody's stressed these days, so what is the big deal? But then it is a big deal, because it not only affects an individual, because it affects the workplace as well, because before being a employee we are a human. So before we join any organization, we are human first. We have our emotions, and we deserve to be treated well, and we deserve to be in a conducive environment where everybody is heard, everybody is respected. So how stress affects the workplace? You can see it, it leads to productivity fall, as WHO also says. The companies lose in millions because of non-productivity of employees, which happens due to their depression, being depressed or being mentally ill. So many employees are forced to leave their jobs, and sometimes they are at a high position, so it affects the companies, because it's not easy to replace an employee. So then they realize, okay, we should have treated that employee well, but then it's too late, because employee goes into illness and the company goes into chaos. So it leads to high employee turnover, absenteeism. So many times we get up in the morning as professionals and we don't like to go to work, which is very sad. I mean, we should look forward to go to our workplaces, but sometimes it happens we don't want to go, and the reason is simple, because we feel that we will be stressed there, and nobody wants to be stressed, everybody wants to be happy. So sometimes we make a reason that now today we are not feeling well, and sometimes that is not also taken in a good way by the companies, because they don't understand what does it mean to say I'm not feeling well, to come to the office. They force you to go, and then you go, and then you are in a turmoil. The company is not benefiting, because of course you are not productive in this state. So how to reduce the stress at work? So this is very important, and I would say the stress would be reduced if, like I said earlier, the employees are heard, they are given the chance to speak about their grievances. There is a supportive colleagues and bosses, wherein one can open up and talk about, not create a stigma, like that I need some help, but talk openly. So there should be flexible schedule as well. Thanks to COVID, I mean, if it didn't do anything good, it was a blessing in disguise, because now we have hybrid way of working, we have remote settings in many companies, which supports the employee well-being, because certain days if they want to take an off and or work from home, they have that option. That flexible schedule is there, unlike before. So flexible schedule ensures there is work-life balance, and there is less stress and more productive environment for the employees. So every company should think of remote and hybrid settings more than the on-site settings, because it gives the employees chance to have work-life balance, which is very important to maintain mental peace. Okay, so next we will discuss what wellness programs can be implemented at workplace by the employers. So I would say the employers should introduce wellness programs that include access to counseling, stress relief activities, and mental health days. So these programs provide a support system for employees facing mental health challenges. So like we celebrate Women's Day and Father's Day, there should be mental health days celebrated at workplaces too, because it's an important subject and it has to be celebrated, and there should be some goodies given, or some off given to some employees, or a big party should be thrown at the office or somewhere else to basically celebrate mental health and to ensure that happy employees make a happy workplace. Okay, so what is the role of leadership in stress management? I would say the role of leadership is very, very important, because leaders set the tone for mental health awareness. By showing empathy and compassion and prioritizing stress management, leaders can create a culture of support and openness. So, the leaders should ensure the employees are, happy, and they are, they give priority to their wellness, and they're supporting their peers, and it's a happy place, because when there is happiness and wellness around, then only the employees can be productive, and then only the businesses can prosper. So leadership should take the onus and ensure that they make sure the employees join some mental health programs, or they have a buddy attached to them, or they speak to a counselor if they are grieving, or they have some mental issues, because it's a need of the hour to have a healthier workforce, to have a productive business. So it works both ways, and so I would say leadership plays an important role in enforcing wellness programs and wellness of the employees. Then how should the employers make sure that the work culture is supportive? So I would say they should build a supportive culture by encouraging team collaboration, peer support, and regular check-ins. Employees are more resilient when they feel connected and supported by their peers. So I would say the check-ins are very important, because when a new employee joins, usually the HR for few days make sure the employee has settled well. But then after a month or 3 months, the HR and everybody forgets about the employee, and they think now the employee is settled and everything is fine. But that's not the right way to do, because regular check-ins should happen, and I would say not only for the new employees but for the old employees as well, because it always helps when the HR or a mentor or a buddy or a peer or a supervisor asks the employees from time to time that how are you doing and how is everything. It's not really that they have to ask about what is the real cause, but just asking and just checking in on an employee makes the employee feel so much safer, secure, and happier, and that employee feels loyal towards the organization, because he or she thinks that if the organization is caring so much for the employee's mental well-being, then why shouldn't the employee give 101% for the success of the organization? So it is very important to have regular check-ins, and it should be made mandatory by the organization that there should be a team assigned to make sure the wellness of the employees is at the top priority, because then only the corporates will benefit and even the employees will benefit. So it's very vital, I would say. Now, you have to start building a stress-free workplace from today. So all the CEOs or the leadership members who are currently hearing me out in this webinar, they should make sure that, after this webinar, they should make sure that a stress-free workplace is implemented, and it is implemented from today, now. Okay, because you have to take the first step by promoting well-being, because you have to offer resources and address the stressors or the mental illness, the trigger points, because a stress-free workplace benefits both employees and the organization. So you have to make sure your employees' needs are catered to, and they don't feel the stigma to share what is bothering them, and if their mental peace is being compromised due to tensions at home or in office or anything. So it is your responsibility to make sure you give the employee a stress-free workplace to perform optimally and conduct a happy environment for himself or herself and the peers around. So that is very important, and you have to be mindful of creating a stress-free workplace for all. So now I would say mental health is just as important as physical health and deserves the same quality of support. So if all of you agree with me, then I want you to say in the chat box that, okay, yes, Y for yes and N for no. I want to see whether you all feel that mental health deserves the same priority as we give to physical health. Let me see. Okay, so all of you are saying yes. I'm very happy you're agreeing to what I just explained, and that is the way to go. Okay, so I would say creating a stress-free workplace is not just the responsibility of employers, but as well as the employees. So what can the employees do to ensure a stress-free workplace? So there are 5 ways to prioritize your mental health at work. So this is a quick steps and guide for the employees. So first one is utilize the employee assistance programs. So many employers offer free confidential counseling services. So if you join a new organization, you can always ask the HR when they give you the manual and everything that do you have such programs, and if they are there, you can enroll. And even if you are an old employee, you can still ask the HR or the senior leadership team that you would like to enroll in such programs, because if they already have, then it's good for you, and if they don't have, they will think about it and implement in future. So it benefits to talk openly and ask for these vital programs. And second is practice mindfulness and relaxation techniques. So you can take short breaks throughout the day. So when you have a lunch time, after finishing your lunch, take a stroll around your office, go out, take some fresh air, or sit for some time and meditate. So it always helps. Or use the stairs instead of the lift, or park your cars at a distance so that you can walk up to the office. So all these basic things and little things can help you. And certain times there are gyms also in some offices, so you can avail those services as well, because physical fitness is also very important. Because if you are physically fit, you are mentally fit, and it goes both ways. If you are mentally fit, then it will affect your physicality and your physical work also. So you should make sure you take vital steps daily. Count your steps. You can wear, now we have these Apple watches. You can just count your steps, see how much you are walking each day or running each day, and accordingly adjust your schedule so that you keep the fitness levels high. Third would be to engage in certain physical activities which can boost your mood and reduce stress. So it's not only in the office you have to be physically fit, you have to make sure at home also you're physically fit. So you can join some Pilates class, or some Zumba classes, yoga classes, anything which keeps you mentally and physically fit. Because if you are happy at home, it will impact your state of mind in office, and if you're happy in office, it will impact your mental state at home. So you should make sure you are happy in both workplaces and your house, to ensure optimal productivity and your optimal state of mind. Fourth is set boundaries and prioritize self-care. So take time off when needed. So every organization has annual leave. So instead of skipping that, take use of that. Go to some place and be it with family or take solo trips and just unwind and come back rejuvenated, because it's very important to self-care. Or you can take short trips even during the weekends and detox yourself. There are so many mindfulness centers and detox centers. So you should use these kind of services and opportunities to stay mentally and physically fit. And then you should seek professional help also. So don't hesitate to reach out to a mental health professional if you feel it's a prolonged illness and you're not getting better, there are mood swings, there are temper issues, and it's affecting your productivity at work. Then you should take professional help. You can even ask your work HR in the workplace, do they have some counselors which they are affiliated with, where you can go, or you can take a private services also, because it's all covered in insurance. So you should not bother about these things. You should take the first step and get yourself mentally fit, because it's very important. So consult a counselor or consult a mindfulness coach or NLP master, and learn some tricks to train your mind to see the positive in everything. I, being a corporate professional as well, I also did NLP, Reiki, so many courses, because idea was to keep myself mentally and physically fit. So same I would advise to you as well. So I would say your mental health matters. You are a human first before you are an employee. So you are a human being first, and then you become an employee. So your mental health matters, because as humans we have emotions and we have to deal with it productively to channelize our energies and stay happy. Okay, so mental well-being helps you in many things, like you can realize your abilities, cope up with normal stresses in life, work productively and fruitfully, have positive emotions, thoughts and perceptions, contribute to the community. So there are so many benefits of mental well-being. So it's high time you take it seriously and work on yourself, on the workplace and everything. Okay, so I would say in my concluding thoughts that mental health at work is not a luxury anymore. It's a necessity. When we care for our minds, we care for our work, our teams and our future. So if you all agree with me that mental health at work is not a luxury and it is a necessity, please type in the chat box. If you think it's a luxury, type L. If you think it's a necessity, type N. I'm waiting for your answers. Okay, that's refreshing to know all of you think it's a necessity. Great. So yeah, so mental health is no more a luxury, and it is a necessity, and it has to be catered to seriously. So that concludes my my viewpoint on mental health at work. Thank you all for listening. I'm open to questions. You can connect with me via LinkedIn or WhatsApp. And if your corporates or you as an individual are looking for any seminar, workshop or classes on mental health, then you can always consult me, and I would be happy to help you out and your colleagues and your leaders. So that's all for today. Thanks for tuning in, and stay tuned, and I'll be discussing more topics in future which will benefit you all. Thank you. Have a great day.
Hi. Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead, Shahib.
Yeah, okay. Sonaal, thanks for your presentation. It's very relevant. The point what we discussed, the stress-free workplace. Okay, I can say that I can endorse the third point what you said from the employee side, and the third point I remember it is engage in some physical activity.
Right.
So how I can endorse is because I started my career in Bangalore and couple of years in Hyderabad. There it was very relaxed environment. Then when I moved to UAE, I felt like I'm in a pressure cooker kind of environment. So that is where I decided to resign from here and go back. But for somehow my folks, peer groups, they persuaded me, okay, stay for some more time. It will be all right. And they suggested to go for some physical workout or something.
Okay.
So that is how I started my jogging, and I felt that it's really working out for me. So I thought I'm not a health freak, that kind of thing. So I thought after when I change the job I can discontinue the running. But I'm here for 20 years. The running is still continuing. I just want to tell you that.
But that's so
So
inspiring.
the stress is something it's always will be there. So it's only what from an employee side what we can do is how we can manage it.
Right.
So that exercise what you said, that is really helpful. From my experience it worked for me. So I just want to share my experience. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing your experience, and you're absolutely right. I mean, physical exercise leads to emotional well-being also. So I'm glad you took that challenge and concentrated on your physical health, and which led to your emotional stability as well. So thanks for sharing your experience.
Hi, Sonal. I would like to resonate with something that you had said about regular employee check-ins. That really makes a difference. So one thing that I experienced was with my previous company and current company. Previous company, I met my HR just twice in 9 years. That's the day when I joined and then the day I left. And in between, there was no much connection at all, very rare. But then my current one, my HR manager, she was there on the first day when I came to the office. And then she used to check in with me every 2 weeks, and then a month later, and then 3 months later, asking, okay, do you think that we as a company is fit for you to work? So that question alone, that was a huge it was mind blowing for me. At that time I was like, okay, I'm sticking to this company even if they cut my allowances, salary, whatever. A company who can ask that question to your employee, that am I fit for you to work? That itself was the best thing for me. So, and it was huge. And since then I have never even thought of moving out of this current role or current company. So that was huge. So employee check-ins regularly, that really makes a difference.
Exactly. I think everybody will now be applying to GE. Everybody will want to work for such an organization because, that's what I was talking about. If the company cares for you, then, you become more loyal and you become more productive because you feel, they are checking in on me when they don't have to really, but they are taking that effort, then why don't I put in my 100%? So, the employee retention happens only when, the companies are caring towards their employees. So that was a wonderful, experience you shared. I think that is the need of the hour, basically every company should do that. They should not just leave the employees in lurch, and it could be the new ones, it could be the old ones also, because, once you're old, so they feel you are pretty settled in your work zones and they don't check in on you. But then also you need check-ins, you need
Absolutely,
a
yeah.
kind of care. So it goes for the new and the old employees as well.
That's
Thanks
right.
for sharing that.
And there is a question from, yeah.
Yeah. There is a question there in the chat box.
Okay.
Dr. Maria is asking, I would like to ask how one can easily share his or her mental issues without being under the bracket of judgment.
Yeah, so that's what I was saying. We all have that stigma, we all have that fear because we don't discuss mental health issues in open. But now I feel the times are changing because the companies have also realized, especially after the pandemic, that mental health issues are there and they need to address it. They can't shove it under the carpet anymore. So it's like they are having these workshops, because I keep going to corporates for seminars and all, and I realized that now companies have opened up for these webinars, workshops, seminars for one-on-one for the employee or for the group. So it's not a stigma anymore. But I would say, if you have certain issues which are bothering you, and if you don't have a mental health expert in your organization yet, which I said it should happen in every organization, then you can speak to the HR about it, because the HR is the best person who can guide you with your issues in if those are the professional issues. But again, if those are mental issues which the HR is also not equipped, then you can consult a counselor, and if there is a therapy, then you can have that, and you can, if it takes a lot of time, then you can inform your the supervisor that I'm going for this therapy for certain days, and it's for my productivity and it's for my mental well-being, and I'll be back and will be more rejuvenated and I'll be more productive. So if you give that confidence to the company that this is just a phase and you will come out stronger, I think they will support you. So it's all about your communication with your supervisor about and the company ethics. And now I feel times are changing, so you should not worry much, because most of the fears are in our head. We never know. I mean, we don't even speak to our colleagues nowadays. Like earlier, I remember when I was working, we used to speak so much with our colleagues and share our worries, but now everybody is on their guard. Because everybody is afraid, or they are not equipped to handle and they don't want to talk about it. But if you have a good friend or a good colleague, you can always go and talk about. If you can trust that colleague, just go and talk about it, because they have loads of experience and they can guide you in best possible way. Otherwise, counseling is the option which you can take, but you have to come out of that fear or the stigma, because it's not a issue which is alien anymore. Everybody is having these therapies and sessions. Even the people who are well off, or they are mentally fit, still they go in for these. That's why there are so many wellness centers nowadays. Everybody goes on these detox visits. It's not just diet detox, it is mind detox also. So I think you can go for that as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Sonal. That's a sufficient answer, I think. So, this is a question which I really get from some of my clients, because there is a stigma related to this issues and mental health considerations from. And what you said about leadership is equally very important. Like the way empathy is utmost into leadership. But again, like being an employee, what we can do is we can just post all these things. We can create an awareness regarding empathy and considering each other, and we can bring it to practice. That's what will make a huge difference in the workplace. Like when we'll do it, obviously it will go to the leadership as well, slowly and gradually. Thank you so much for your answer.
Now you are having these Wasl Talks. I mean, this is a good initiative, because there are so many professionals who are, into these Toastmaster clubs, and so many companies, heads also are there. So, I mean, the knowledge goes, and like you said, I mean, the leadership has to, think on this now. It's high time. And I think it's a great initiative, like you people are organizing these talks, because it will really help, because word will spread and the leaders or the employees will know and they will share. And so it is productive, and it will go far. So it's a great initiative, I will say. Yeah.
Hi, Zubair here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I am the CEO and founder of Fresh Now. You've been talking about employee mental health. What about the people on top, especially a startup founder who's got enormous amount of pressure and lots of tensions and mental well-being issues? Especially today. In fact, today I was feeling very down in the afternoon. These kind of times come up. How do we get relief from this? And then what are the ways we could empower our well-being of the employees? What is the best example you've told about? You've talked about counseling session, but is there any gamification, or is there any other new ways of creating that mental well-being within the entire organization? These are the two questions for you.
So I would say you have to lead by example, like I already mentioned. And nowadays I see in so many organizations, cycling tournaments are held, running marathons are, held for employees, wherein both employees and employers take part, as a company. So those are the initiatives, and the higher ups, like you are saying, the founders or the leadership. I mean, there is professional help available, and there are many mindful exercises. There's yoga, there's running, there's cycling. There's so many physical activities which you could do apart from taking a professional help, because there are so many wellness centers also nowadays where you can visit a professional and take a short course or a therapy into mindfulness, or like I did the NLP course. So I can vouch for that, because that helped me really to think positively about various situations. So right now, there are so many courses available. Even if you're busy, you can do online also. I mean, if the world is growing and things are happening at a rapid speed, especially with the AI and everything. Everybody's stressed. There's recession happening. There are a lot of startups which are coming up. There are companies there, for long. So many things are happening and at a rapid speed. So if you don't calm your mind and if you don't stay physically fit, then, it will be troublesome. And you can't, impress or tell your employees to be physically fit if they are not seeing you being, mentally stable or physically fit. So you have to lead by example. And if you are handling a startup and you are a founder, then to grow your startup and grow it in a healthy and productive way. I mean,
that is what, I'm sorry to cut you off. That is what we are exactly doing. We are just launched, we are launching tomorrow something called Active Life Club by Fresh Now, which our aim is to create a healthy, wellness and fit all together and create a community of people who can grow and enjoy wellness and health. So I'm asking particularly about how to keep the momentum alive, because I want to create a healthy nation. That's the vision of my company. So that's the reason why we are creating this community. And maybe you could also, be part of our community and help people along with this.
Why not? I mean, it would be my honor to do that. And for you also, I mean, like Wasl Talks is doing these podcasts, webinars. I mean, you can also have a short, podcast or webinars to, create that momentum, spread the word, because you are doing a great work yourself, because that's a great initiative, because wellness is the need of the hour. So nobody can escape it, and you are on the right path. And, things will happen. Things take time. It's a gradual process. I mean, you can start off and like you have participated in this talk. So many people have come to know of your initiative. Of course, they would like to be a part of it. And, you can spread the word, be mentally and physically calm and stay patient, because patience is very important when you are a startup or you are, in this line, because people are still not very open regarding the wellness thing. There are a lot of stigmas and fears attached. It will take some time for things to streamline, but they will streamline in future. So I would say all the best to you.
Thank you very much. It's called Active Life Club.
Okay.
Thank you.
I will Google it and join it.
No, it's going to start. I just finished my video yesterday, so it's going to launch maybe tomorrow. So.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
Yeah. Thanks.
Any other questions
Any
or
more
thoughts?
questions? Any more questions?
If Samir is here, are you there, Samir? He's not. Oh, then I wanted to have a great session for 2 minutes, maybe just to understand and find out what is the because he was my colleague, he was working for me, so I want to know publicly how well we were as a company, but he's not there, so it's okay. Thanks.
Excellent.
So final thoughts would be, I would say, small changes lead to big impact. So let's take baby steps, but let's keep moving, keep learning, and keep growing, because that's the only way out. So thank you everybody for listening to me patiently, and I'm glad so many questions came up, so many fears could be answered, and I hope we all stay connected and such talks happen in the future as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sonaal, your time and wonderful information shared with us. Hope we can gain something out of it and practice it and develop our mental health.
Yeah, absolutely. It's my honor.
Thank you
it's
so
my
much.
pleasure to be part of your talks. And thank you, and I wish everybody all the best. May you all stay mentally, physically fit and keep growing in your careers and personal life.
Thank you so much, Sonal.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
And thanks everybody for joining. We had a good crowd today.
Thank you.
Bye everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.